How you doing? This is John and welcome to John's Long Box. Today we're checking out Kitchen Sinks Comics Xenozoic Tales by Mark Schultz. This is copyright 1987. This is issue number 2. I liked issue number 2 a little bit better than issue number 1. They got the story going a little bit more. There was a cartoon of this on NBC in 1993 called Cadillacs and Dinosaurs. I've never seen it, but I heard people say it's a cult classic. Now that I'm, thinking about it, I should check it out. So let's just look at the indicia. Yes, it's April 1987. Okay, so the story, here's the story, and I'll just give you a quick summary. Because of pollution and natural disasters, humanity's only choice for survival was to flee to underground cities. And they stayed in the underground cities for 500 years. And when they re-emerged, the Earth was repopulated with extinct creatures, notably dinosaurs. And other giant like mammoths and stuff like that. So I don't think they ever explained it. Supposedly there's a novel that explains the in-between times, from regular history into the Xenozoic Tales, the Xenozoic times, as they call it. But here, I love this. This was originally in black and white. Marvel Epic Illustrated redid this, and they called it Cadillacs and Dinosaurs also. For that series, it was in color. I never read those, so to me, this is going to be like a weird thing to see it in color. But look at this artwork. Jeez, I gotta pull out. I want to show. Okay, yeah. So I'll go close. But look at that. This just reminds me of like classic Will Eisner. I gotta break out Will Eisner to show you some. But this just reminds me of like Will Eisner's The Spirit. Look at that landscape. You get a sense of distance. Look at all the trees. Oh man, just wonderful. Look at the men, broad-shouldered men. Look at all the details and the architecture. This is just awesome. That's just awesome. It's not a splash page. It's but it is a wonderful setup. Just look at the guy leaning. Just so good. Look at the truck. I could just say, look at the rock, look at that line, but it is flawless. It is so good. This reminds me of like Milton Caniff and Steve, Milton Caniff, Steve Canyon, and real old, just some of the masters. This is like comics you don't see anymore. I'm sounding like an old fogey, but what do you want me to say? It's the truth. And okay, so who are the characters? Well, the main star of the comic is Jack Tenrek. And they call it, Cadillac Jack, because he finds old cars. He lives in the city by the sea. And what's the city by the sea? It's Manhattan. People have been underground for 500 years, so the language has changed, the cultures have changed. People are suspicious of other people. This is Hannah Dundee, and she's from Wassoon, which is Washington, D.C. And of course, the ancient ways, they don't trust anybody from Wassoon. So she has to earn her trust, Jack's trust. And she's followed Jack. She says it's out of like scientific curiosity, but they're forming a romantic relationship. And in this particular story, they're going to the copper mines. They need copper. So they're going like deep into the continent, like basically like New Jersey or New York. They don't really tell. And they're going in there and they're mining copper. While they're doing it, a big allosaur is attacking them. And Jack, contrary to like most of the protagonist, macho guys, he loves the animals. He even loves the dinosaurs. And he's like, if you leave the dinosaurs alone, they don't usually mess with humans. They may be dumb brutes or whatever, but they're smart enough to leave humans alone. So, but this allosaur has claimed the lives of two of the other hunters, miners rather. So they gotta protect themselves. So they build a ditch, and of course the stupid men, they're portrayed as like the cowards or whatever. They run and they fall into the pit they just dug, and the allosaur is gonna come and get them. So Jack and Hannah stand their ground and just fire and fire and fire and fire. And I love this. Just look at this, pow pow. It's just coming at them, pow pow. It's coming at them. His gun, click. He's out of ammo. She's firing at him. Oh, it's jammed. Of course, it's jammed. She's firing, and it's just iron resolution, iron will, fire, and then finally it drops mere feet for them. Just look how close it is. They're two heroes. They're two tough guys. You know what I mean? They stood their ground and fought. And then what does Jack do? He investigates and he finds that it's been shot in the eye. So that's why it's attacking. In this world, the creatures are a little bit more intelligent than we would like them to be in dinosaur stories. So this creature was going after revenge because somebody shot it in the eye. And what does he do? He finds the exact kind of bullet. And technology is rare in this world. They've only been out for a couple of years. Nobody's smelted metal. I don't know why they didn't keep up technology in the underground cities, but I didn't write the story. So unless these people are like they grew up here or whatever. So he finds the one guy with the one gun, and he's just like, "Are you gonna kill me?" Because he's Jack. He has like an absolute sense of justice. You shot this dinosaur in the eye, and the dinosaur came and killed miners, so you have to pay for this. So he's freaking out, and then he's just like, no, damage is done. I understand, like, there's a black market for allosaur glands, stuff like that. There's people are superstitious again, and they're making like potions and whatever medicines out of the glands and eyeballs and organs of the dinosaurs, and the allosaur is one of the most powerful. So like people want like allosaur glands for like whatever potions, and he's like, yeah, on the black market to make a fortune. He's like, you might as well go harvest it now. He's like, what's done is done. And she's like, I don't understand why'd you let him go? And he goes, yeah, take your gun. You earned his gun. So they take his gun. So she's like, wow, he went to go harvest the dinosaur, and I have the gun. And he's like, because he never ceases to amaze me. And now somebody's telling Hannah that these types of allosaurs, they mate, male and female, for life. So he's out there he's carving up the dinosaur, and he looks up, and there's the mate. So a little bit of poetic justice, And they're short stories. Here's the spirit that this is Will Eisner as the spirit. I got to break out that. And I just mentioned Steve Canyon. Milton Caniff did Steve Canyon. This was these were both newspaper strips. Back in the late 40s and 50s, when comic books were all the outs, newspaper comic strips were still considered like the highest of the art forms. So these were high prestige comic book art. So here we have an ad for Border Worlds. I'll definitely be showcasing this. This is a same guy who did Megaton Man. This is Alien Fire. This I don't know anything about. I'm actually going to pick up some back issues of this. This looks interesting. All right, so like I said, Hannah's a scientist over here. Look, just look at this. One of the things I really like about this, I'm trying to do my videos faster because of some constructive criticism from friends, but I'm a blabbermouth and I don't know how much I can cut out. But I find the landscape to be like a character in this story. Look at this. So they're constructing a trap, and they want to. She wants to trap a mammoth because she says if we could domesticate mammoths, they'd be better than the machine, because the world is overrun. They don't, and most people don't know how to build and maintain technology. And matter of fact, they're suspicious of those that do. And Cadillac Jack Kenrick is one of the few people that builds and maintains machinery, and he is really good at it because he found that using these this is science fiction dinosaurs, so he uses dinosaur poop to power the cars. So because there's no oil refineries anymore, it's like a post-apocalyptic world. So gasoline is scarce. So most people can't even use cars if they want to. So but he discovered using dinosaur poop to power cars. There you go. And they go faster now, because that's the way this story is. So now they're just waiting and waiting and waiting, and they're talking, and they're, it's just like on again, off again. Will they, won't they, will they, won't they, the classic, if you remember Moonlighting, they're getting closer. And of course, he, like at the last minute, looks away, and then they are being watched. In the very first story, Jack killed this guy's brother, and for the life of me, I can't remember the name of the family. Terhune, And for like the rest of the series, the innumerable Terhune brothers are always seeking revenge, and Jack always bests them. So here comes the mammoth. I just thought this was so inefficient. Like they don't pull a rope or anything, but she has to fire to cut the ropes, and there it goes. The mammoth is going to be trapped, but one of the Terhunes throws rocks, and she gets knocked down the cliff, and he gets his leg bashed. So his leg is broken, and this guy's just like, aha, they call me the Hammer Terhune, and I'm going to beat you up. She's thrown down there, and here comes the mammoth. Just look at this picture. I just love the way he draws. Just so good. I would love to know what he's up to now. I'd love to know, like, it's secret knowledge. I'll just go look it up later. So he wants the car. It's fascinating to him. Remember, even though they dress like modern people, it's kind of like anachronistic. Some things just don't make a lot of sense, like the way they dress and stuff like that, and then juxtapose that with the lack of understanding of technology. But what do I know? So he's going to drive. So he reaches for his pistol, and he pulls out his pistol, and he laughs. He's like, that pistol, he doesn't know how to make bullets. He doesn't know how to, reshell bullets. So he's like, he just holds the gun in hopes that someday he'll find more bullets or whatever. So he has an empty pistol, and he's like laughing at him and beats him up. And remember, his leg is busted. So here she is, trapped by this mammoth, and she opens her eyes, and the mammoth got its tusks caught in the ropes of the trap. So she's fleeing and going after, and she sees Jack, whatever, in the car, to put him in the car. I'm just going to speed up the story. So he's got his loaded gun on him, and they're driving away. And what's going on? She pops out of the trunk, and so she climbed in the trunk, and he's like, why did you wait so long to save me? He's like, because you were driving, and you were driving fast. So I couldn't shoot him while you were driving fast, so I just had to wait for an opportunity. And of course, the last apparently being chased by the mammoth. Like I said, the creatures in this story don't act like how we would imagine them. So they're pretty intelligent. So the mammoth now follows them home in the next story. And this next story is like they're trapped in Jack's little workshop, and the mammoth is outside just bashing. So it's just like a bottle episode, but you get to see his wonderful workshop. Just look at the backgrounds. You don't see stuff like this in modern comics. It's just just look at that. Look at that. All the detail. How long did it take for Mark to draw these panels? Just look at he's leaning. You know what I mean? He's not standing stiff. Like you don't even see poses like this anymore. Look at that. Dirt, oil on the ground, just wonderful detail, and the thumping stopped. So they're fighting, they're flirting, and then they're fighting, and then the thumping stopped, and then they go out, and the mammoth. So look, I think they're hinting at like a nuclear power plant in the background. They didn't really flesh it out. So now they're driving to see where the mammoth is going, and they call these Macs. Look, a big herd of Macs for one of these Triceratops. We'll give them wide berth because we don't want to start a stampede, and they just drive it. And here's the mammoth. It died. She shot at it, and it finally bled out. And they feel bad for it. They didn't want to kill the mammoth. They just wanted to see if somehow test its intelligence, test its demeanor, see if they could use it for domestication. So they actually feel bad. So now they're just checking out the mammoth corpse, and the storm's coming. He's like, we got to get out of here. For whatever reason, in this future world, the storms are really bad. She's like, well, your car that you keep bragging about could outrace the storm. So he waits till the storm hits him, and then they're going to drive and outrace the storm. And what do? Of course, they flip over. He goes to save her. I guess he grabs a little bit and then carries her, and he seeks shelter from these devastating storms. And they ride out the storm, and where are they? They're inside the mammoth. So, add a little bit to their guilt that the mammoth saved them, even though they killed the mammoth. And, and Jack does take stuff like that seriously. Here's a cover of issue 3. Here's some Will Eisner, the Dreamer. And Xenozoic Tales. These are hard to find. I'm still missing a few issues. I just went on eBay and bought a, I had to bid and everything like that because other people want them. I wonder if something's going on that I don't know about that's making this popular again. But it was reprinted. So this was Xenozoic Tales. This is Kitchen Sink. This is the original home of this, black and white. Then it was Cadillacs and Dinosaurs by Marvel from like 1990, I think that was. And then the Topps Comics did Cadillacs and Dinosaurs. It was a continuation of Marvel. But this lasted 14 issues. And the Marvel and the Topps were just reprints of this, but in color. It's hard to get the single issues. So if you want to get the collected editions, there's Cadillacs and Dinosaurs by Kitchen Sink Press. That's like the first 4 issues. Then there's Dinosaur Shaman, which is the second 4 issues, and Time in Overdrive. That's the last. And then Dark Horse Comics does Xenozoic Tales 1 and 2, and these are the collected. So it's easier to get the collected editions than it is to get these actual comics. I really love it. Just the I like that he changes dinosaurs enough so it's not predictable, and for all we know, that's really the way dinosaurs are. I don't know about dinosaurs. Do you know about dinosaurs, how they really are? I don't. So it's just a cool take. To be honest, I got to suspend disbelief a little bit to think that this, in 500 years dinosaurs came back. So I'm sure there's a story that he never told about how the world became like this. I would like to know that story. What made dinosaurs come back? I don't know. They never tell you. Why are the storms so bad? I don't know. They never tell you. So apparently there's a novel that fills you in with a lot of those details. I got to check that out. I never read it. This won a lot of Harvey Awards. This was a big deal. But apparently, you saw the quality of the art. Mark was very slow. Sometimes it was like a year between issues for him to draw. I don't know if he was slow or if he was doing other things. This was his side project. But apparently, that's what killed the comic. It was that it came out so infrequently. But it's a wonderful product. I really, really, really enjoy it. I like the... It reminds me of like a 40s cereal. It has an old-timey... To me, it's an old-timey premise. Jeez, my mouth is old-timey. It has an old-timey premise, and like the story just seems old-fashioned. Like, I don't know, I just love that. The older I get, the more I appreciate the men are men, the women, the dangers. But notice, this is the second issue, and Hannah saved Jack. And she saved Jack in the first issue too. That's kind of how they met. And she also saved the city by the sea, because she's a scientist. She's observing the dinosaurs' behavior, and through observing the dinosaurs' behavior, she saved the city from pterodactyls. So, it's not that old-fashioned, I guess, but it's a wonderful series. So there you go, Xenozoic Tales by Kitchen Sink Comics or by Marvel Comics. Cadillacs and Dinosaurs. It's the same thing. Thanks a lot. See you around. And thank you for taking time to watch my videos. I really appreciate it. If you could give me a like, a thumbs up, or share me with somebody else, that would be great. I'm trying to get to 100. I'm at 90 subscribers. 100 would be so much fun. Thank you. Bye-bye.